1. Introduction. My friends say I am not lucky with love, and I think they are right. In the past, my relationships always ended badly. I always felt very sad and alone. The main problem was my heart. I have a big heart, and I give it to people too quickly. I trust people very easily. When someone is nice to me, I believe everything they say. This was always my biggest mistake. I just wanted to find true love. I dreamed of a person who would be kind and honest with me. But I always found people who hurt me in the end. After my last relationship ended, I was very unhappy for a long time. I decided to be more careful. I did not want to feel that pain again. I told myself I would not fall in love so fast next time. I wanted to protect my heart. Then I met Dan. It happened at a friend's party. He was tall and had a very warm smile. He came over and started to talk to me. He was polite and funny. We talked for hours that night. He seemed different from other men I knew before. He listened to me carefully when I spoke. He asked me questions about my life and my dreams. It felt so good to talk to him. He was not just a handsome man, he was also very charming. He made me laugh, and I did not laugh much in those days. When I left the party, he asked for my phone number. I gave it to him. I felt a little nervous, but I also felt happy. Dan called me the next day. We started to see each other a lot after that. We went to parks, watched movies, and had quiet dinners together. Every day with him felt special and new. He always said sweet things to me. He told me I was beautiful. He said he never met a woman like me before. He promised that we would have a wonderful future together. He used the word forever many times when he talked about us. I tried to be careful, but it was very difficult with Dan. His words were like music to me. His soft smile made me forget all my past sadness. I started to believe him. I started to trust him completely. My friends saw that I was happy again. They told me I looked different, that my eyes were bright. I really thought my life was changing for the better. My bad luck with love was finally gone. I felt like this was a new start. Dan was my new beginning. I believed that our love was real and strong. I imagined our future together, a happy life. I thought about having a family with him one day. All my old fears and worries went away. I felt safe with him. I gave him my whole heart, more than I ever gave to anyone before. I was so sure that he would never hurt me. I believed my unlucky days were finally over, but I was wrong. I was very, very wrong. 2. Our wedding day. We got married very quickly. We knew each other for only 6 months. My friends thought it was too fast. They worried about me and asked if I was sure. I told them I was very sure. I loved Dan more than anyone before. When he asked me to be his wife, my heart said yes without thinking. We did not plan a big, expensive wedding. We wanted a small, quiet day with the people we loved most, our family and our closest friends. Our wedding day was beautiful. It was a warm day in the spring, and there were flowers everywhere. I wore a simple white dress, and I felt like a princess. When I saw Dan waiting for me, he had the biggest smile on his face. In that moment, I believed all my bad luck was finally over. He looked so handsome. We stood together and made our promises. My mother cried, but they were happy tears. All our guests told us we were a perfect couple. I looked at my new husband and thought, this is forever. The celebration after was lovely. We ate good food, danced to soft music, and talked with our guests. But later that night, when we were finally alone, I noticed a change in Dan. He was very quiet. I looked into his eyes and saw a strange sadness, like a shadow hiding a secret. It was gone in a second, but I saw it. I asked him if he was okay. He said, "Of course. I am just tired from the long day." He kissed my forehead, but I had a strange feeling in my stomach. During the wedding party, I also heard some people whispering. They were Dan's relatives. When I walked near them, their voices became low. I heard one woman say that his family had a reason for wanting me, a reason for this marriage to happen so fast. What reason? I did not understand. The words made me feel cold for a moment, but I pushed the feeling away. I did not want anything to spoil my perfect day. I told myself I was just hearing things. I made a choice that night. I chose to ignore the shadow in Dan's eyes and the whispers I heard. My love for him was so big and powerful. It made me blind to any problems. I trusted him completely. I wanted to believe in the happy story we were starting. I thought love was the only thing that mattered. I did not know that this perfect day was the start of a very difficult time for me. 3. A bad paper. Our first week as a married couple was wonderful. Dan was a perfect husband. He brought me coffee in bed and told me I was beautiful every day. I felt safe and loved in our new home. I really believed my bad luck was over. Then, 7 days after our wedding, Dan's mother visited. She came in the afternoon when Dan was at work. She did not smile or ask how I was. She carried a brown folder and had a serious look on her face. "Mandy, I need you to sign this," she said. Her voice was like ice. "It is just a formality for the family." I took the paper she gave me. It was thick and had a blue cover. It looked like a very important legal document. I opened it and saw many pages with small words. I did not understand most of the legal words, but I saw our names, Mandy and Dan. I kept reading, trying to understand. Then I saw one sentence that was very clear. The contract said that if Dan died, I would get none of his family's money. I would have to leave our house. I would get nothing. My hands started to shake, and the paper felt heavy. A cold feeling filled my heart. Why would they ask me to sign this? Did they think I was a gold digger? Did they believe I married Dan only for his money? Hot tears filled my eyes, but I did not want to cry in front of her. I looked up from the paper and stared at his mother. "I will not sign this," I said, and my voice trembled a little. "I love your son. This paper is an insult." She did not look surprised. "It is for the best," she said simply. My hurt turned into anger. I took the contract in both hands and tore it right down the middle. Then I tore the pieces again. Dan's mother gasped, her eyes wide with shock and anger. "How could you?" she started to say, but just then Dan came home. He walked into the living room and stopped. He saw the torn paper on the carpet. He looked at his mother's furious face and then at my tear-stained one. I expected him to hug me. I expected him to tell his mother to leave, but he did not do that. Instead, a look of pure fear crossed his face. "Mandy, what did you do?" he whispered. He knelt and looked at the pieces. "Please," he begged, looking at me. "You must sign it. We can print another copy. Please, for me." I could not believe what I was hearing. He was on his mother's side. He was not protecting me, he was scared. His fear was a terrible sign. It told me that this was not just about money. This was about something bigger and more dangerous. Our marriage, which I thought was built on love, had a dark secret at its center. That night, I lay awake for hours. Dan slept beside me, but I felt completely alone. The man I married was a stranger, and our perfect life was a lie. For another woman. After I tore up the paper, our home felt different. It was quiet and cold. Dan was kind to me, but something was missing. A wall was between us, and I did not know how to break it. I felt very lonely in our big house. I tried to believe everything was okay, but my heart knew something was wrong. I just did not know what it was. Soon, I started to hear stories. People in the house whispered when I walked by. I heard a name many times, Claire. A friend told me that Claire was Dan's old girlfriend. She said that Claire and Dan were in love for a long time. The friend also said that Claire still wanted to be with him. Each word was like a small stone hitting my heart. I wanted to ask Dan about her, but I was scared of his answer. I started to watch him more. He was always looking at his phone and smiling. But when I came near, he put the phone away quickly. He started to come home late from work. He said he was busy, but I did not believe him. One evening, I could not find Dan in the house. I went outside to the garden. The sun was going down. Near some big trees, I saw him. He was with a woman. She had long, dark hair, and she was very beautiful. They stood very close to each other and talked quietly. Then she put her hand on his arm. Dan did not move away. He just looked at her. My heart felt like it stopped. I knew this woman was Claire. I went back inside the house and waited. My hands were shaking. When Dan came in, I asked him, "Who was that woman in the garden?" He looked very surprised. Then he looked nervous. "She is just an old friend, Mandy. It is not important," he said. He did not look at me when he spoke. "Is her name Claire?" I asked. He was quiet for a moment. "Yes, but it means nothing. Please trust me." But I could not trust him. I saw the guilt in his eyes. From that day on, I felt like a stranger in my own home. I was Dan's wife, but another woman had his secrets. I was unlucky in love again. 5. The big lie. One morning, my phone made a sound. I had a new message from a number I did not know. When I opened it, my heart stopped. The message had photos of Dan with Claire. In one picture, he held her hand. In another, they were standing very close, and he was whispering in her ear. They looked happy together, like a real couple. My hands started to shake, and I felt cold all over. I could not believe what I was seeing. I felt sick. I had to find Dan and ask him about the pictures. I walked into the living room where he was reading a book. I did not shout or cry. I just held my phone in front of him. My voice was very quiet when I asked, "What is this?" Dan looked at the photos on the screen. All the color left his face. He looked very scared and could not look at me. He opened his mouth to speak, but no words came out. After a long, terrible silence, he finally told me everything. The truth was worse than any story I imagined. He said our marriage was not about love. It was a plan. His mother made the plan because of his late father's money. His father's will said that Dan must be married to get his inheritance. If he was single, all the money would go to his stepmother. His family did not want that to happen, so they needed him to find a wife very quickly. I was that wife. He told me that Claire knew about the plan from the beginning. They decided that he would marry me for just 1 year. After 1 year, he would get all the money. Then he would divorce me. I listened to his words, and the room started to feel small. I could not breathe. My legs felt weak, and I had to sit on the floor. All his promises and his sweet words were a lie. I was not his wife. I was just a piece in his family's game. My world became dark. The man I loved used me. My heart was broken into 1,000,000 pieces. 6, I leave him. My world became very quiet after Dan told me the truth. For a long time, I could not speak and I could not cry. I just looked at him. His face was white and he looked very scared. But I did not feel sorry for him. I only felt a big, empty space inside my chest. The love I had for him was completely gone. I knew I could not stay in that house for 1 more minute. Our beautiful home was not a real home. It was a stage for a play, and I was an actor who did not know her part. Every picture on the wall, every comfortable chair, every clean plate in the kitchen was part of the big lie. I could not breathe the air in that house anymore. I stood up from the sofa and walked to our bedroom. I did not look at Dan when I passed him. I opened the closet and took out my big suitcase. I started to put my clothes inside. I packed my old jeans and my simple shirts. I did not take the expensive dresses or the beautiful shoes he bought for me. I left them all behind in the closet. I only wanted my own things, the things I had before I met him. I wanted my old, simple life back. I wanted to be the person I was before Dan and his family's terrible game. Dan followed me into the bedroom. He stood by the door and just watched me pack for a moment. "Mandy, what are you doing?" he finally asked. His voice was soft and full of pain. I did not answer him. I just continued to fold my clothes and put them in the bag. "Please, don't leave me," he said. He came closer and tried to hold my hand, but I pulled it away from him. "Mandy, please listen to me. It was a plan at the start, I know, but everything changed for me. I changed. I really love you now, I promise." I stopped packing and looked at his face. His eyes were red and full of tears. A small, weak part of me wanted to believe his words, but how could I? Our whole marriage was a lie. His words about love felt like just more lies. They were like air and had no meaning for me. "I can't," I said. My voice was cold and quiet. "I can't live here with these lies. I can't trust you." I closed my suitcase with a loud click. I walked past him and went to the front door without stopping. He followed me, still begging me to stay. "Don't do this, Mandy. We can fix this. Please give me one more chance to show you." I opened the door and did not look back at him one last time. I walked out into the cold night air. I took out my phone and called my best friend, Sarah. My voice was shaking. "Sarah, can I please come and stay with you?" I asked. "Of course, Mandy," she said immediately. "Come right now." "I will wait for you." I went to Sarah's small, warm apartment. She opened the door and gave me a long, strong hug. In her safe arms, I finally started to cry. I cried for my broken heart. I cried because I felt so stupid and so alone. Sarah made me a hot cup of tea and just listened to me. That night, I could not sleep. I lay in the dark and felt the pain in my chest. My heart hurt so much. It felt like it was broken into a million small pieces. I was the unlucky wife again. 7, the real story. Months went by. I lived with my friend and tried to forget Dan. It was very difficult. Every day, I thought about him and the big lie. My heart was still broken into many small pieces. I did not think I could ever trust a man again. I started a new job in a small bookshop. It was quiet, and I liked being around books. I tried to build a new life for myself, a life without Dan. One evening after work, I saw someone waiting outside my friend's apartment. It was Dan. He looked tired and thin. When he saw me, tears came to his eyes. He did not look like the confident man I married. He looked sad and sorry. I wanted to turn around and walk away, but my feet did not move. He started to talk. His voice was quiet. He told me he was so sorry for everything. He said he spent the last few months fighting his stepmother. He took her to court. He found proof that she tried to cheat him and take all of his father's money. He told me the court believed him, and he won. He was free from her and her bad plans now. He looked at me with his sad eyes. "I was a coward, Mandy," he said. "I was weak and I was scared. I was afraid to lose everything my father left for me. I followed my stepmother's plan because I did not know what else to do." He took out his phone. He showed me messages he sent to Claire. I read them. He told her to leave him alone. He wrote that he was in love with his wife, with me. He told her their plan was a big mistake. He put his phone away. "I did not plan to love you," he said, "but it happened. My love for you is the only real thing in this whole story. I know I hurt you very much. I don't know if you can forgive me, but I have to ask. Please, can you give me one more chance?" My mind told me to say no. It screamed, "He will hurt you again." But my heart felt something different. It was a small, warm feeling. After all the pain, I still loved him. I looked at the man in front of me with tears on his face, and I did not know what to do. My heart was torn. 8. A new start. I did not say yes to Dan immediately. My heart was still broken into many pieces, and trust was a difficult thing to give again. I told him, "Words are easy, Dan, but I cannot trust your words anymore. You need to show me." He understood completely. He did not push me or get angry. He just nodded and said he would wait for as long as it took. And he did. For the next few months, Dan worked hard to prove his love. He showed me he was a different man. He did not talk about his family's money or the court case. Instead, he asked about my day and listened carefully. He visited me every single day after work. Sometimes he brought me my favorite coffee. Other times, he just sat with me in silence when I was sad and did not want to talk. He wrote me letters, long letters about his true feelings. In his letters, he never asked for anything. He was patient, gentle, and kind. Slowly, I started to see the man I first fell in love with, but this time he was honest. There were no more secrets in his eyes. He was not weak or scared anymore. He was strong and sure about his love for me. One rainy evening, we were walking in a quiet park near my friend's house. He stopped under a big tree and looked at me. His eyes were full of love and a little bit of fear. He took a deep breath and got down on one knee. My heart started to beat very fast. "I don't care about the money, Mandy," he said, his voice soft but clear. "I only care about you. Please, will you marry me again? This time it will be real. I promise." There was no bad paper, no other woman, and no lies. There was only Dan holding a small ring asking for my love. I looked at his hopeful face, and I knew he was telling the truth. I felt my own warm tears mix with the cool rain on my face. A real smile grew on my lips. "Yes," I whispered. "Yes, I will." I took his hand, and I felt my unlucky heart finally start to heal. Our second wedding was very different from our first one. It was small and very simple, with just our closest friends. We did not need a big party or expensive things. We only needed each other. When I looked at Dan and said, "I do," I knew it was forever. This was not a plan or a game. This was our new start, a real start. I was not the unlucky wife anymore. I was just Mandy, a woman who found true love after a very difficult time. Our new life together was just beginning.